The Colombo Wars rank among New York City's bloodiest mob conflicts. These wars claimed 21 lives and 12 victims were never found. Violent chaos erupted across New York streets as brazen daytime shootings, drive-by attacks, and car bombings terrorized the city. This brutal power struggle started as an internal conflict in 1961. The violence escalated into 3 distinct wars that raged for over 3 decades and devastated the once mighty Colombo crime family. The family's strength had crumbled to just 75 made men by 1993, making them New York's smallest mafia family. Legal pressures and internal betrayals led to more than 120 members facing arrests, which shattered the family's influence. Let's look at these 3 devastating wars' complete story, the major players' violent clashes, and how they altered the map of New York's criminal world. Origins of the Colombo Family Wars. The formation of the Colombo crime family goes back to 1928. Joseph Profaci started a bootlegging operation in Brooklyn that year. He'd arrived from Villabate, Sicily in 1921 and built his criminal enterprise while he managed to keep a legitimate olive oil importing business. His organization soon took control of major territory across Brooklyn neighborhoods, including Bensonhurst, Bay Ridge, Red Hook, and Carroll Gardens. Power structure and key players. The family followed traditional mafia hierarchy, with 3 positions making up the administration. The boss, responsible for setting policy and resolving disputes. Underboss, second in command. Consigliere, advisor to the boss. The administration oversaw multiple crews, each with a captain who supervised soldiers and associates. Profaci ruled with an iron fist over his family's criminal activities that included loan sharking, racketeering, and gambling operations. Initial conflicts and tensions. The late 1950s saw the first major internal conflict emerge. Joe Gallo and his brothers became unhappy with their pay for running family rackets. The situation took a dramatic turn on February 27, 1961, as the Gallos kidnapped 4 of Profaci's top men, including his underboss, Magliocco. The hostages were released after negotiations, but Profaci never planned to honor the peace agreement. He ordered hits on Gallo family members in August 1961, which sparked a bloody internal war. 9 murders and 3 disappearances later, Joe Gallo landed in prison in late 1961. The organization stayed tense until Profaci died from cancer in 1962. Joseph Magliocco took over a broken organization and got involved in a plot with Joseph Bonanno to kill rival bosses Carlo Gambino and Tommy Lucchesi. In spite of that, Magliocco's plan backfired after he assigned the hit to Joseph Colombo, who told the targets about the plot. The commission punished Magliocco by forcing him to retire and pay a $50,000 fine, while Colombo received the family's leadership as his reward. The 3 major Colombo Wars. Blood ran through New York streets as 3 brutal mob conflicts ripped through the Colombo crime family. Each new war brought more violence than before. First War, 1961 to 1963. The Colombo family's first war started after the Gallo brothers took 4 of Profaci's top men hostage. They just needed a bigger cut of the family's profits. Profaci seemed to make peace after brief talks, but secretly planned his revenge. He ordered hits on Larry Gallo and Joseph Joe Jelly Gioli on August 20, 1961. This betrayal led to violent clashes that left 9 people dead and 3 others missing. Second War, 1971 to 1973. A second family war broke out after Joe Gallo got out of prison. He wanted $100,000 from boss Joseph Colombo, who offered him just $1,000. The situation got worse until June 28, 1971, when someone shot Colombo 3 times at an Italian-American Civil Rights League rally in Columbus Circle. The violence kept going until April 7, 1972, when gunmen killed Gallo while he celebrated his 43rd birthday at Umberto's Clam House. Third War, 1991 to 1993. The The worst fighting started in 1991 when acting boss Victor Orena challenged the authority of imprisoned boss Carmine Persico. The conflict kicked off on June 20, 1991, when a 5-man hit team went after Orena at his Long Island home. The next few months turned extremely violent. November 18, 1991, failed assassination attempt on Gregory Scarpa. December 3rd to December 8, 1991, multiple killings, including Persico loyalists Rosario Natasa and Vincent Ferrazo. March 25, 1992, murder of Joseph Minerva and Michael Imbagamo. The war ended up stopping in 1993, after 12 people died, including 2 innocent bystanders. Federal authorities came out on top, with Orena getting a 100-year prison sentence. This devastating conflict was New York's last major mob war, and it left the once powerful Colombo family weakened by a lot. Key figures in the Colombo family conflict. 3 powerful figures shaped the Colombo crime family's destiny through decades of violence and bloodshed. Joe Colombo's rise and fall. Joe Colombo became New York's youngest crime boss at 41. His loyalty to Carlo Gambino paved his way to the top. He made history as New York City's first American-born mafia boss. Colombo created the Italian-American Civil Rights League in 1970. The league grew to 125,000 members, who protested FBI's alleged discrimination against Italian Americans. Other mafia bosses criticized his activism and the league's demonstrations. They saw this public exposure as a threat to their operations. They ordered their members to stay away from the second demonstration. Colombo ignored these warnings and went ahead with the rally. Jerome Johnson shot him 3 times in the head on June 28, 1971. The shooting left him paralyzed until he died in 1978. Carmine Persico's iron grip. Carmine the Snake Persico took control after Colombo's shooting and built one of the longest mafia reigns. His influence spread through Brooklyn's key neighborhoods: Carroll Gardens, Red Hook, Park Slope, and Bensonhurst. Persico managed to keep his iron grip from behind bars after getting a combined 139-year sentence in 1987. His ability to control the family's operations while in prison became legendary, earning him the nickname the Immortal. Federal Judge John Keenan called him one of the most intelligent people I have ever seen in my life. Victor Orena's rebellion. Persico appointed Victor Little Vic Orena as acting boss in 1988. He gave him unusual powers to induct members and order hits on his own. Orena expanded the family's criminal enterprises through his connection with John Gotti and became a top earner. Things fell apart in 1991 when Orena challenged Persico's leadership. He believed the imprisoned boss held the family back from profitable opportunities. The commission rejected his power bid. So Orena tried to win support from the family's capos. Persico responded with violence and ordered his elimination. A 5-man hit team waited near Orena's Long Island home on June 20, 1991, but he escaped. This failed hit sparked the bloodiest mob war of the late 20th century. Authorities caught Orena in 1992, and he received 3 life sentences plus 85 years in federal prison. His conviction ended the rebellion and restored the Persico's control over their weakened crime family. Law enforcement's battle against the family. Federal law enforcement agencies took down the Colombo crime family's criminal empire through decades of strategic operations and innovative tactics. FBI strategies and operations. 9 agents and 1 analyst made up the FBI's specialized Team C-38, which led a detailed assault on the family's operations. The team combined traditional surveillance with state-of-the-art techniques. They relied heavily on wiretapped calls and confidential informants who recorded thousands of hours of conversations. The team's work solved 15 cold case homicides and located 2 bodies of people missing since the 1990s. Their operations also seized $10 million in criminal assets. Key informants and turncoats. The case broke wide open when high-ranking family members turned informant. A soaring win came in 2011 when Colombo captain Anthony Russo became the first family member to cooperate after the largest single-day mafia bust in history. His move to witness protection marked a vital breakthrough because he knew extensive details about the family's illegal activities. The case became even stronger in December 2011. Capo Reynold Maragni wore a wire for the FBI and provided vital evidence about Thomas Gioli's role in William Cutolo's 1999 murder. Major arrests and convictions. The FBI's efforts led to several major operations. 2008, multiple high-ranking members, including underboss John Francesi and consigliere Joel Casacci, faced charges for loan sharking, extortion, and murders. 2011, a coordinated sweep caught 127 suspected members from all 5 New York mafia families, with 34 from the Colombo family. 2021, the entire leadership, including boss Andrew Russo and underboss Benjamin Castellazzo, faced federal indictment for labor racketeering and extortion. The convictions packed a punch. Thomas Gioli got 224 months in prison for racketeering conspiracy that lasted nearly 2 decades. Victor Arena's conviction brought 3 life sentences plus 85 years in federal prison. It was these operations that reduced the Colombo family to around 75 made members. Law enforcement's success came from mobsters turned informants, secret recordings, and careful investigation techniques. FBI's Assistant Director in Charge, Michael Driscoll, noted, "These soldiers, consiglieres, underbosses, and bosses are obviously not students of history." Impact on New York's criminal landscape. The Colombo Wars altered New York's criminal map and changed how organized crime operated in the city. Changes in mob hierarchy. The 5 families saw their traditional system of iron-fisted control and steadfast dedication fall apart. This mirrored what happened to the Colombo family from within. Federal prosecutions targeted leadership ranks, and the organized structure became its downfall. The family's numbers dropped from about 200 to just 75 made members. Leadership fell apart in ways never seen before. The commission could no longer keep order among the families. Young members stepped into power positions without proper screening or training. This created a gap between generations that made the organization weaker. Move in criminal operations. A stark difference between generations showed up in how crimes were committed. Older members expressed frustration with younger associates who grew up in suburbs instead of city streets. These newer members had different ways of doing business. The biggest change was how they communicated. Younger members used text messages and digital tools, leaving trails their elders would have avoided. The family's criminal business went through big changes. Traditional activities like loan sharking and labor racketeering dropped off. They found new money in workplace safety certification fraud. Health care benefit programs became new targets. Decline of the Colombo family. The Colombo family's power had dropped substantially by the early 1990s. Internal fights led to convictions of around 70 members. The RICO Act hit them especially hard because prosecutors could now target the whole criminal enterprise instead of just individuals. Several signs showed the family getting weaker. Their territory got smaller, they made less money, and they struggled to control their usual rackets. The family's name in the criminal underworld took hits it couldn't recover from. This made it hard to keep profitable connections with other criminal groups. The clearest sign of their fall came in 2011. Federal authorities launched their biggest single-day operation against organized crime. They charged 34 Colombo family members. This operation, plus ongoing leadership problems, made the Colombo family the weakest of New York's 5 families. Conclusion. The Colombo Wars show how internal power struggles can destroy even a 32-year-old criminal organization. 3 bloody conflicts from 1961 to 1993 ripped this once powerful crime family apart through betrayal, ambition, and violence. Law enforcement definitely took advantage of these internal divisions. Their winning combination of traditional surveillance, informant recruitment, and innovative investigative techniques devastated the family, bringing the family's strength from around 200 made members to just 75, making them New York's 5 families' smallest group. These conflicts transformed organized crime in New York City. Traditional mob hierarchies fell apart as younger members tried new approaches to criminal enterprises. The old guard's iron-fisted control shifted to a more fragmented and undisciplined organization. The bloody chapter of mob history shows how the Colombo Wars ended traditional organized crime in New York. Their story warns us about internal conflicts, destructive power, and what happens when you operate outside the law.